Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a weekly track roundup, my thoughts, my opinions, my feels on a bunch of tracks that have dropped over the past week or so, whether I loved them or hated them or felt somewhere in between. All my opinions are here, and they are as follows. Let's get into it, shall we? Also linked down below, per usual, of course, is our Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from it. If you go over there and you buy some vinyl, some turntable stuff, some whatever, that helps out the channel, as does subscribing to one of the tiers on our Patreon that gets you some extra bonus monthly content too, exclusive classic album live streams, Patreon only Let's Argues. Check them out. Link below. And also our YouTube Shorts page. Subscribe over there today for some cool short form content. All right, worst tracks of the week. We've got a couple. We've got a handful. Let's see. Starting off with this new Cemetery track, King of the Graveyard. I just don't feel like he's the King of the Graveyard on this track. I think Cemetery, unfortunately, is painting himself into a corner creatively with the same kind of song, the same kind of vocals, the same kind of production again and again and again and again. It's no longer just a style. It's become like this one-trick pony that is currently not even living up to the excitement of, bangers off of Rainbow Bridge 3. I just don't see it. I just don't see the hubbub. I just don't see the excitement. I am at a loss as to how to enjoy this new track, knowing that there's already so much out there just like it and better. All right, a new one from blink-182. One More Time. It is a painfully mid-acoustic track with some, it's funny that it's so stripped back and yet it does not feel raw at all. It's just very glossy. It's very lifeless. It's very soulless. It needs a retooling. It really does need a retooling to actually kind of get it to sound sort of organic and good. Just kind of feels like the exact opposite vibe you would want for an acoustic cut. And we have Jack Antonoff and the Bleachers, Modern Girl. Very goofy cut. Tiny hat, tiny pants, tiny sacks. What are we doing, Jack? What is going on here, man? This track is borderline psychotic. I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, the grooves are jumping, and the guitar bits are kind of fun. But this track is kind of goofy beyond words. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. All right, meh. The tracks that I was, not huge on, but you might like them more than me. They are as follows. Bam, kicking it off with this new one from Zach Bryan. He's got a brand new EP out, and there's a handful of cuts on it. Kind of feels like leftovers from his self-titled, honestly, but there are still some interesting ones on there. But the one that I wanted to point out, Boys of Faith with Bon Iver, has some pretty rough production, but I feel like there's a decent song idea in there somewhere, if not for the fact that, the song is mixed like crap. We also have a new one from Troye Sivan, which, we started things off with a really great single, a really great banger, a really good quality, hard hitting track, but then it all fell apart when Troye decided to basically come out with this new track that is a lazy interpolation of that Bag Raiders song from way back when. That's a total freaking banger with, obviously some great synth licks. But I feel like not only do they feel utterly tacked on into the song, they're also the best thing about the song. Like if you took out the Bag Raiders sample, there'd literally be nothing about this track that would be all that memorable. I mean, it's pleasant while it's on, and I feel like, the Bag Raiders bits are cool. But everything outside of that is just kind of It's kind of And that's all I got to say about it. All right, moving on from there. We have a new one from Actriz. Really cool to hear from these guys again, but, not with a track that's just kind of okay. I mean, it kind of slowly simmers its way to this middling peak of intensity, and then it kind of peters out, and it's like, the weakest payoff of all time. But still, while it's on, it is kind of creepy and unnerving. That's saying something. A few bands can kind of conjure those vibes as well as these guys do. So, I'll give them some props on that. Next, we have a new one from JELEEL. Why isn't it longer? Why doesn't it hit harder? If we're doing these rage tracks, we need a bit more length and girth on them. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. GFU, title of the track. All right, we have a new one from EARTHGANG, brand new EP. And, there's some bops on it. There's some bangers on it. I believe at least one of which we've talked about during a previous weekly track roundup. But this one I wanted to highlight, just to kind of shout out the EP being out and about. This one is a very kind of smooth neo-soul style cut that is maybe a tad bit too long, but still Flavors of Karma does have some redeemable qualities to it that are worth checking out. And again, the new EP, RAP Human Art, it's out now. All right, we have a new one from Doechii over here, which kind of sounds like she's just idly riffing over like a very creepy horrorcore beat or something. I mean, I feel like it could have potential, and given like the intensity of some of her screams on the track, this could even be maybe a lane that she flourishes in or something. But like, I feel like the content wasn't really there, and the instrumental, kind of carried the entire thing too. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like there's lost potential on this track. We have a new one also with some lost potential. It is a collaboration between miraculously Crumb and Melody's Echo Chamber. It's a very drippy, cool piece of well-produced psychedelic pop, but it just kind of ends very suddenly at around 2 minutes or so, and it just kind of feels like it was going somewhere, but then the rug gets pulled, and it's just kind of whatever. Moving on from there, Chelsea Wolfe, Dusk, brand new track from her. It's very moody, it's very spacey. I kind of feel like she's going back to basics on this one a little bit. There's a heavy finish to it too. There wasn't anything production wise or I'll say tune-wise that was really kind of blowing me away about it. But, it's cool to hear Chelsea being consistent and kind of going back to maybe some of the sounds and vibes that, made her the figure that she is in the underground rock scene and the goth scene, with certain tracks and records toward the, start of her career. Moving on from there, we have a new one from Brent Faiyaz, Where You At? This track is very smooth. It's got some nice vibes coming off of it. If you're an R&B head, you're going to want to hear it, but I don't think it's one of his stronger tunes, for sure. All right, next we have a new one from Nicolas Jaar, who's collaborating with an artist that I guess he's doing an entire album with, Ali Sethi. Muddat, I believe, is the title of the track. And these guys have a really kind of cool cross-cultural mix going on over here. I like Ali's vocals on the cut a lot. I think he's, a fantastic and a very skilled vocalist. If there's anything about the song that just kind of fell off to me, I felt like Nick's production could have gone a lot harder in terms of like, the beats hitting a little more boldly, as well as like the mix being a bit more textured and spacier. I feel like he left things maybe a little too dry production wise, but if anybody is going to do this kind of collaboration and reach out stylistically in the way that he is on this track, on this record, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Nick. So it's kind of cool to see him still taking a risk and working with someone just obviously outside of the general purview and boundaries of the indie electronic producer scene. So respect for that. We have a new one from 070 Black Dress. It's a very chill, moody trap ballad with a lot of dramatic vocals and a lot of very lush synthesizers in the mix. Not crazy about it myself, as I feel like it doesn't really kind of reach an interesting climax or anything like that. But, 070 is still out here doing their thing. Best tracks of the week. We have a handful of those. They are as follows. We have a new one from Moneybagg Yo, Sexy Red, Big Dawg. Pretty much a very direct, straightforward, in-your-face trap banger. But I feel like Moneybagg Yo is uncharacteristically charismatic on this track, and Sexy Red is doing her usual thing, which I think works really well in the context of a feature. And they have, a few cute trades across the track too. So I think it works. There's good chemistry on this cut. All right, moving on from there. Also, really good chemistry between Rome Streetz and Joey Badass on this really awesome boom bap, lyrical miracle, cypher type cut with a great bit of production on it. And just like good bars all around from these two. They're really matching each other's energy and sounding amazing doing it. All right, next we have a new one from the Reverend Kristin Hayter. I Will Be With You Always is the name of this new track. And it is a super forlorn, torturous, just like vocally pained and, just loaded with suffering. A tight ballad. It is a powerful performance, very raw and very stripped back, just like the last single that we heard from this upcoming record. I Will Be Here With You Always Again is the title of the track, and it's pretty awesome. Loving it, loving it. All right, moving on from there. Gene Dawson has a brand new cutout with SZA. Whoa, what a crossover. SZA and Gene Dawson. No Seasons is the name of the cut. And really pretty well-produced, lush, and climactic, and densely arranged track for Gene. Usually he's on something a bit rockier, even lately, more spacey, more goth. But this is really kind of cute crossover of pop and R&B, and SZA's vocal performance is fantastic. Damn, I mean, it's so good. I hope they collaborate again in the future. I'll say that. Maybe even over like more of a rockin' track would be kind of cool. So I think I heard about the potential for this collaboration a while ago, and this kind of completely exceeded any expectations that I had, honestly. All right. A few more left. We have Jane Remover, who has come through with a Census Designated. New music video, by the way, directed by Quedeca, which is pretty cool. Oh, I'm just noticing the gun and the sassy look in the in the cover art. But yeah, this is like a really cool experimental piece of bedroom pop with some heavy, almost shoegazy, noise poppy walls of heavily layered vocals and guitar distortion. It's, quite the intense listen, impassioned vocal performance too. I'm liking this, more than I think I did the last single, if I remember correctly. But Jane Remover, really doing some cool things for, the internet underground at the moment, in my opinion. A new album on the way soon, obviously. Chai has come through with a cute little, kind of dance pop number with a vintage flair to it. It's titled Game. These guys continue to make some of the most fun music out there on the indie circuit. There you go. That has been the weekly track roundup, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of this video. Let me know what you thought of any of these tracks in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantana, Weekly Tracks. Mwah. Forever.